This is the Energy Makers Show, featuring the innovators, financiers, and policymakers focused on the global energy demand. Brought to you by NRG, moving clean energy forward. And here's your host, Paul Dickerson.
Hi, I'm Paul Dickerson, and welcome to another episode of the Energy Makers Show. First up today, Nick Darbeloff, president of the AEE, the Advanced Energy Economy. He's based in New England, there in Boston. It's his business federation representing the entire advanced energy industry. Next up, MaryAnne Maldonado, head of the energy division of what Forbes labels one of our nation's top technology accelerators, the Houston Technology Center. All that right after this.
Where will the energy come from to move us forward? From natural sources in abundant supply, or perhaps a man-made source? At NRG, we believe innovation will solve our energy needs. That's why NRG is moving away from fossil fuels towards wind, solar, and other sustainable technologies to power the smart grid, the electric car, and our clean energy future. We're using all of our energy to develop more of it.
This is the Energy Makers Show, brought to you by NRG, moving clean energy forward. And now, back to the Energy Makers Show with your host, Paul Dickerson.
Hi, I'm Paul Dickerson, and welcome to another episode of the Energy Makers Show. We have with us today Nick Darbeloff, out of Boston, here in Houston, president of the Advanced Energy Economy. Nick, great to have you on the program.
Paul, great to be here.
So tell us about AEE.
Well, we're a new national organization formed in 2011, focused on helping to catalyze advanced energy business activity all across the nation.
Now, did I hear that the original idea maybe came from a New England group?
Well, I was the co-founder and built the New England Clean Energy Council, ran it for about 4 years. And I think the council does offer a good model for this fundamental reason. We were entirely business focused. Our entire goal was helping New England harvest the economic opportunity that is advanced energy or clean energy. And I think AEE has a slightly broader mission, but it absolutely shares that business focus in common.
How is AEE going to be different from maybe the group in New England or other such groups?
Well, that's a great question. I think that AEE's goal is to partner with or cultivate new organizations in as many states as we possibly can, and we'll do this year by year with goals each year as we advance, wherein these organizations will engage in programmatic activity to help connect clean energy businesses with capital, to help remove any number of different obstacles from the path of advanced energy businesses as they seek to grow and thrive. Each of these chapters will be connecting with, partnering with incubators and other specific or focused organizations as they go. And I think that really what we want to do is make our chapter in each state a hub around which lots of activity is occurring. And they will also serve as a conduit between the community and all the organizations therein and our national efforts, which will include fairly aggressive industry research, national programs of various types, and so forth.
That's a big task.
It is a big task. I think that the hole we're trying to fill is the lack of a business voice at the national level for the advanced energy economy. Any state you go into, you'll find lots of good businesses and lots of nonprofits pulling an oar and doing good work. But the time has come to really coalesce all those organizations and businesses and the voice of each into one unified voice at the national level.
When you say the advanced energy economy, what type of company comes your way?
Well, we want to pitch a big tent. And so this is all of the classic clean energy companies that you might point to, including renewables, solar, wind, biofuels, geothermal, what have you. At the same time, we believe that advanced natural gas technology and nuclear absolutely belong under this umbrella. Ultimately, it's about helping this nation move forward and engage in a transformation to energy sources that are affordable, secure, and clean.
Well, interesting. So natural gas, a fossil fuel, you'd put that in your tent?
Yes, we would. And I think that the reason is quite simple. We see it as a much cleaner alternative to oil and coal, and it's got a huge role to play in our economy. We've got huge energy needs. We can't get there without it.
So who's behind AEE?
The organization was founded by two gentlemen, Hemant Taneja, who is actually the lead founder of the New England Clean Energy Council. He's a venture capitalist who was previously based in Boston, moved west, met a gentleman named Tom Steyer, who is the other co-founder of AEE. Tom is the CEO and founder of Fairlawn Capital. And between the two of them, stood the organization up and have put in place, I think, a terrific staff, and we're off and running.
Now, I know you're traveling around to various states. As you've been in Texas, are there certain things that you see that are unique about Texas or even California or Boston or any of the other states you've visited?
Well, I think that's what's truly fascinating, is that every state is unique or has different characteristics. In New England and in California, obviously new venture creation and the venture capital community and the entrepreneurial ecosystem is extremely strong, and that probably represents the right focus. In Michigan, you've got the automotive industry. You've also got a huge wind presence, which leads you down those paths in terms of what type of activity to focus on and catalyze. In Texas, you've got the energy capital of the world. You've got big energy, and obviously one of our goals will be to seek big energy's involvement, and I think Texas can emerge as a very critical state and chapter for our organization and national effort.
Well, and as I'm sure you've seen through your meetings here, Texas is pretty involved with renewables.
You certainly are. In fact, you are the wind capital of the nation, and I think there's tremendous activity going on all across the state, in Austin, Dallas, Houston. Have visited and will visit another incubator this afternoon. There's just tremendous startup activity, and that's very exciting as well.
Well, and one great part about this organization, in my view, is that it really can serve as a conduit from the coast of innovation towards the incumbent companies, the larger energy companies, and showing them some of this great innovation that maybe they could come in and help commercialize.
Well said. America has led every major technological innovation for the past 100 to 200 years. And there is no reason why we shouldn't be leading this one. I think we've fallen a little bit behind out of the gate, but I don't think it's a deficit that can't be made up quickly, and AEE's goal is to see to it that we do exactly that.
What are some of the programs you'll be promoting or participating in?
Sure. I'll tell you about a couple already in the works. One is focused around the Department of Defense and advanced energy. Specifically, it's helping to expose advanced energy businesses to the military procurement process. The military is making a very, very big bet on advanced energy, not because it's green, not because of sustainability purposes, but really because it's the right thing to do to assure mission security. It's literally about their logistical tail and lives lost when push comes to shove. So helping businesses understand how to interact with the military is key. Another is a program we envision around electric vehicles. We're working with an outfit called SAFE in D.C., Secure America's Future Energy, if I get that right. And again, the objective of this program is to help states better understand what's involved in EV deployment, literally the infrastructure and community involvement that must transpire if EVs are going to roll out successfully so that drivers have the infrastructure they need. Two good examples.
Absolutely. And certainly with the natural gas that's been found, the shale plays, you hear more and more talk about the domestic production of fossil energy. What do you see as the next 5 years for clean tech?
I think that with regards to natural gas, we are absolutely in the midst of a huge boom. It's very exciting. I think that hydraulic fracturing, exercised responsibly, has a huge role to play. I think it can be a tremendous tool for cleaning up portions of the transportation sector and perhaps enabling us to become an exporting country with regards to natural gas, and that's very, very exciting. I think as clean tech moves forward, over the next, half decade to a decade. It's all about, and let me go big here, it's all about helping small businesses become medium-sized businesses and larger businesses become Fortune 2000s or even Fortune 1000s. As I think many of us know, energy is a $6 trillion industry worldwide. It is going to undergo a fairly sizable transformation in the decades to come. And in our minds, it would be catastrophic if America did not retain its innovation leadership in emerging as the undisputed leader in delivering advanced energy solutions to the global marketplace. And in short, that's what AEE is all about.
Well, very impressive. Welcome to Texas. I hope you'll come back soon.
Enjoyed it. Thanks.
And that wraps our discussion with Nick Darbeloff. We'll be back with more right after this.
The future is here.
You can't see it. It's electric.
At NRG, we're providing clean energy and now charging stations to make the electric car a reality. Kinda makes you want a boogie woogie, doesn't it? NRG, moving clean energy forward.
It's electric.
This is the Energy Makers Show, brought to you by NRG, moving clean energy forward. And now back to the Energy Makers Show with your host, Paul Dickerson.
Welcome back to the Energy Makers Show. My guest now, MaryAnne Maldonado, Vice President at the Houston Technology Center and Managing Director of their energy practice. MaryAnne, great to have you on the program.
Paul, great to be here.
So HTC, for our viewers unaware of HTC, tell us a little bit about it.
The Houston Technology Center is a nonprofit organization that helps companies commercialize new and innovative technologies. Specific to my role, energy technologies. We help companies through a candidate phase, and we hopefully get them to the position where they'll be attractive to industry.
All right, so walk us through, for those client companies, what's their process?
Okay. We have client companies or applicant companies come to us in various stages of development. They have unique proprietary technology.
Right.
They are very technically savvy and need some business acumen built around their business plan. So they come to us with their business plan. We do a series of vetting with expert panelists to help us really provide the best feedback for these companies.
Right.
And hopefully get them to the place where they can be, again, like I said, more attractive to the marketplace.
And how many companies are you working with at any one time?
Generally, we have about 50 companies that we're working with at any given time. We have a large energy portfolio of client companies, and those companies range from upstream oil and gas conventional technologies all the way to renewable and clean technologies.
What is it about HTC that should draw client companies to you?
Well, for over 13 years now, we've worked very, very closely with industry. And industry helps us select the most disruptive type of technologies. And we've put together a client acceleration program that really takes them from the early stage, rough rumblings of a business plan, to a place where they have commercial viability.
Well, and one thing that a lot of our viewers, I think it will ring true to, is that these large energy companies often don't just adopt technology overnight. There's a time frame. Can from your perspective, can you walk us through what the time scale is for acceptance?
On average, it's about 30 years for the energy industry to accept a new energy technology.
A long time.
It's a very long time. And when you're looking at that from that approach, then you really have to make sure that you're selecting the right type of companies to work with. So then again, the vetting is very important so that we're selecting the right type of technology companies. And we look to industry to help us make those selections.
So as you have some success, there's a bit of a graduation that occurs. Can you explain that?
We look for companies that have unique proprietary technology, that are scalable, and that want some coaching.
Right.
And on that basis, we groom them to have an achievable graduation ceremony. And so the graduation could include an IPO, a merger or acquisition, or they have significant sales and revenue and they're ready to fly out of the nest.
Are there any companies that you'd like to highlight as a certain success?
I'd like to highlight all of them,
Sure.
of course. We've had a company that was acquired by a major drilling company here for a very significant amount of money. That was a huge success for the Houston Technology Center's energy practice. We have companies that we're grooming right now that have unique type of drilling technologies, water remediation technologies, nanotechnology applications into the energy industry. And in October, we're going to recognize them at our Innovation Conference and Showcase.
Well, we've talked about the member client companies. Tell me about the benefactors, these larger companies that work with you as sponsors. What is their motivation to get involved?
Well, we have over 20 energy companies that currently work with us. That includes some of the major integrated energy companies, Shell and ConocoPhillips and BP. Also service companies, Schlumberger, Halliburton, and Weatherford. All of these individuals participate with us to help us select the right type of companies we're working with, as well as they have the first glance at the type of technologies that is going to be formidable for their future in 10 or 15 years.
So you almost serve as their outsourced venture arm?
Absolutely.
Well, and did I hear that you also still work with groups like Chevron Ventures and some actual venture companies
Yes.
themselves?
We work very closely with Chevron Technology Ventures, with Energy Ventures, some of the other oil and gas venture arms, helping ready companies, hopefully, for entry into their deal flow.
So if some sponsoring entity wanted to get involved, how do they do that, and are there certain levels of participation?
There are levels of participation in the energy practice, and those range from the average of $20,000 a year up to the sky's the limit.
Right.
But really, we want to engage industry in the aspect that they have the ability to look at new energy technologies for the purpose of hopefully bringing them into their respective portfolio.
Well, congratulations on your continued success, and thanks for coming in today.
Thank you very much, Paul.
And that wraps this episode of The Energy Makers Show, heard on the radio nationwide and seen right here at TheEnergyMakers.com. I'm Paul Dickerson, and we'll see you next week.